This is how I make miniature furniture for our Dungeons and Dragons games. Small scattered terrain like this is great to add detail to a room, as well as help the players visualise the scene. I try to make as much as I can by hand, so I use balsa wood to make wooden furniture. This is soft enough to cut with a knife and a ruler, and using a wire brush can help bring out the wood grain texture. Here I cut the tabletop into several long planks to try and make it look a little bit more rustic. I then stuck the tabletop back together using super glue, then added details to the legs of the table using wooden skewers and smaller pieces of balsa wood. Once I'd made the table, I painted the whole thing using watered down brown acrylic paint. I then used a combination of dry brushing and dark washing to bring out the detail and grain of the wood. To add some detail to the table, I made some metal braces and bolts for the ends. These adhesive rhinestones are great because they're cheap and small enough to use as little rivets. I painted some cardboard and the rivets in a gunmetal grey and then hit them with a dark wash to make them look a little bit more weathered. Some terrain I just find easier to 3D print. This is usually pieces like chairs that are very repetitive to keep making many of, or some smaller pieces that are just a little bit too detailed. I won't really go over this much because it's just painting 3D models. I just use the same technique of painting base colours, dry brushing and then dark washing to bring out detail. I found this small rug in a shop that sells dollhouse furniture, and it was the perfect scale for what we needed. It was just a little bit too bright and perfect for what I wanted, so I used some watered down brown paint to help grubby it up. I've now ended up with quite the collection of terrain to use for castles and taverns. I try and focus on the usability and the playability of the pieces, so try and ignore that some of the scale is a little bit off.